Hello everyone, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. Now I'm going to be doing something here first, then I'm going to get on with some planting and then something at home a bit later on in the video. But under the description of every video there is a link under there and it says buy me a coffee. Well, I've changed it to buy me a packet of seeds if you want to do that, if you feel that you want to give me something. And I'm not sort of, asking you now for a donation, but somebody made a donation on there and it got my mind working, and she said to, maybe this will buy some plants for your pond, or, alternatively some packets of seeds. So I got this bad boy and I thought this would be perfect for the pond. It's a Lilly. Should spread about 1 metre. And it's perfect for this small pond. So I'm going to get this bad boy in. Now I bought a big one. You got the choice of buying a 1, 2 or 3 litre pot. I got a 3 litre. I thought it'd be better if I've got a bigger plant to start with. And all I'm going to do is just take this tab out. So I've got myself a pair of scissors now. So I'm not entirely sure where I want to seat it for now, but it is going to go just in here, right at the edge for now. I think eventually I will move it down to the deeper part of the pond, right in the middle. I'll let it spread that way. Just going to unfurl these leaves so it can get some sunlight. Now I think that's a wonderful addition to the pond. I won't mention the person's name who suggested it, just in case they're not happy with it, but thanks very much. Brilliant idea. I would have got one eventually, but I thought, no, I'll do it now. So there we go. So that should spread a good metre. And where have I thrown that? It's a double white flower. There we go. There's the flower that we should get on it. Gorgeous. There we go. Bit more life in it. And look, tadpoles are loving it already. Right, so before I start, I just want to give this bed a quick tickle over with the claw, and it'll just loosen the top layer of compost and disturb any weeds. And it's very quick to do. It's just a quick tickle, And it's a good way really, because if there's any persistence or there's like a dock coming through, you'll feel it with this claw and you can go back and dig it out. So that's it, and I'm ready to plant now, so go and get some plants and there we go. Right, so I'm planting some onions now, and these are the singles. I have got multi-sown as well, and I've got spring onions and shallots and all kinds to go in, but these are me Bedfordshire Champion onions, so they're me big, what I call a slicing onion. And I've got this metal grid here, which just so happens fits the bed It's almost like I planned it. And all I've done is just dibbled the hole. It's exactly the same as Charles Dowding does, and that's where I got this method from. So thanks, Charles, for that. And all I'm going to do is just drop one in each hole. Job done. And you know, it doesn't really get much simpler than that. So the onions, they're already spaced. Leave plenty of room for hoeing in between, and it'll give them a good growing space so they can spread out. And you know, I used to plant them sort of 3 inches apart, and I wondered why they never did very well, but you know, you live and you learn. So this is almost too easy. And I'll just continue down the bed doing this. I don't need any feed in it, of course, because it's a no dig scenario. So these will just grow away happily. I'll just keep them watered, and that's it really. Not much to say about it. There we go. When you love planting when it's this easy. So these were all grown from seed earlier in the year, potted on. It was all part of my madness earlier in the year when I was in the greenhouse on cold February days. I now appreciate it now that I've got all these plants to put out. That makes that all worthwhile. So these are, as I say, are a white onion, Bedfordshire Champion. All I do is dibble a hole, chuck a plant in, green side up. I had to get that in somewhere, didn't I? There we go. So I've got these onions in all the way up to here. Backwards is the Bedfordshire Champion onions, and these forward are a red one. They're a red Brunswick, an American variety. Never tried them before. Normally I don't do very well with onions over the years, and I started to grow shallots about 7 or 8 years ago, and they've always done brilliantly for me. But this year the onions are far better than the shallots, so I don't know what to make of that, but we'll see how these done. There's a full bed of them here, and I've got some multi-sown ones to go in the other beds. We'll see how they get on. Right, to finish this video today, I'm just going to pot on these courgettes I've got here. Now, these have grown marvellously well. They're getting tangled up here. These have grown really well. You can see 2 plants in each, so one has to bite the bullet and the other one gets potted on. Now they're going to stay here in this greenhouse for about another week, and then they'll go down the polytunnel. All I want them to do there is just start to get their roots out of this clump and into that soil. Once I know that's happening, then I'll take them down and put them in the hot boxes just to protect them, and I'll be planting these out probably mid-May, I would say. I mean, it's all weather dependent, depending on how things are going at that stage. So I've just cut out the extra ones. Again, courgettes are something, once they're growing well, you don't need a great deal of them unless you really love them, and because they just grow so well and you get so many of them. So I'll just rip one out. I know it's brutal, but some years you can plant two seeds in every cell. You may have 6 cells, so 12 seeds sown, and you might only get 3 plants from it, so you never know what's going to happen. So I just take the view that, right, I'll sow a couple of seeds in each cell. Like this one, there's only 1 plant in that. There will be 2 seeds in that. So just take the view that they're not going to germinate. I'm not going to waste my time. I'll sow a couple of seeds and make sure I get a plant, which is what I've got now. And I don't even need all these. You know, I only need 3 plants at the most is all I'll need. But I'll pot on all 6, take them down. Take them down to the allotment. So that's the courgettes done. I mean, look at that. That's hasn't been in very long. I can't remember when I sowed them. But these are now good, healthy little plants. And as long as I keep them relatively warm and away from cold, they'll be fine. Keep them watered, obviously. So that's those. They're done. I've also got some butternut squash here. They're a Waltham butternut squash, and some melons, but these melons I'm not going to touch now. I could take a risk and try dividing these, but I think I would get into so much trouble. I mean, they could be so fickle, melon. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to pot them on as one single unit and rip them out pretty much the same as I've done with everything else. Right, I'm back now with some pots. I've got trays and pots and all kinds out the front of this greenhouse. I would show you, but I'm a little bit embarrassed about it, to be honest. It's a right tip out there. But, you know, it's a production garden, not a pretty garden. So again, rip one out. Lovely little plants. I'll leave them in here just for about a week, because we have got another frost or 2 predicted. And I always, if I can, try and allow a plant to heal. And that means it's sort of getting used to its new environment, i.e. this new pot of compost. And I'll use the heat of the greenhouse to keep that growth spurt going. I mean, it's lovely and warm in here today. I'm having to ventilate. I've got the window open today. It's so warm. And I don't know what the weather's been like for you lot. I know it's been pretty rough up in Scotland and the northeast. I don't know what it's been like down south. But I know this year, and it doesn't happen often, but I think the northeast this year has been worse than Cumbria, and that doesn't happen very often. So I've got lots of other plants here. They're all just waiting now to go down. I've got beans over there. They're nearly 2 foot tall. I've got all my cucumbers, my sweet corn, all my backup tomatoes, aubergines. That's quite interesting actually, is these aubergines, where this graft was here, somebody was asking me, when do you take the clips off? And these have actually pushed themselves out of the clip, which is pretty amazing, because I'll take it off. That part of the clip there that holds onto the stem, there's a split in it, and it just clips around and holds the stem with the rootstock. Well, when the stem gets too thick for it, it just pushes it apart and comes apart on its own. So that's marvellous. Again, makes life easier. Anyway, I think I'll finish potting these off. I'm not going to touch these melons today. I'll do them when they're a bit bigger. But that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed today. A bit of variation. That's it. Look after yourselves, everyone. Stay safe. And I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra now.